Hello, and today is the 15th of March, halfway through March 2020, dealing with COVID-19, not COVID-20. Anyway, start with the numbers, and then there's some news from today, which we'll talk about. Right now, it's about 10 o'clock on Wednesday evening, and there are now listed as 636,000 cases of the coronavirus in America, with the death rate now at 28,300. New York now has 214,000 cases, and North Carolina, where I'm at, has 5,300 cases. So the numbers continue to go up. I saw one article that shows that we're kind of peaking. As far as that, I will not be happy until I start seeing these numbers quit going up so rapidly every single day. It's not good. Anyway, so the news from North Carolina is that the governor basically had stated that they're in order to kind of reopen North Carolina to business, the following state must meet the following measures. Okay, so I'm just reading this verbatim. Expanded testing capacity to determine the extent of the coronavirus in the state. That's one. More public health workers to be able to trace the contacts of all infected people. That's two. And last but not least, improved trends in terms of the number of cases, hospitalization, deaths, and the availability of personal protective gear and other measures. So, the critical thinker in me is like, okay, well, in order for us to do this thing, we need to have these things done first. These measures, the word measure is noted here. However, expanded testing, what does that mean? How many is expanded? 1 more? 10 more? 100 more? More public health workers. 1 is more? 100 is more. Okay. Improved trends. How improved? 1%? 10%? 50%? So the answer is, okay, well, these are things that we want to see happen, okay, but they're not measures, okay? They're generalities. I know that may seem, kind of nitpicky, but that's not like a thing, hey, once we get to these points, we can do it. This is very, very open to interpretation. It's really nonsense is what it is. It's kind of like, duh, okay? So, anyway, I'm frustrated by the approach. It's like, well, we need to do the following things. Better, better, better. Well, what is better? Who determines that? So, sorry about that. As far as, so we've been talking about the stimulus, this whole thing. Wasn't sure how it was going to work out. So we got some bad news and some good news. So the bad news is that the good news is that the stimulus actually came in, sort of, today. And it must have really, because my banking online system, it was completely down for most of the day. I haven't even tried it for the last several hours. But I was able to check for just like 3 minutes to see that we did get it. Now, the amount is not what we expected because they finally clarified that in order to get the stimulus, you needed to have filed a tax return. Okay, that's one. You couldn't be claimed as a dependent by anybody. And you have to be younger than 17. Well, my 3 daughters are all claimed as dependents, and all of them are 17 or older. So they didn't get anything. Okay. But the other good news is that, so my wife, who has been laid off temporarily because of the COVID thing from her floral job, she's on unemployment, and they've been talking about these extra $600, per week, part of the stimulus as far as unemployment. We haven't seen that until today, okay? But even then, we got in a different amount. We got in all of a sudden a check for $960. Okay, where did that come from? Okay, there was no reason, or I don't know, maybe it was like partial from last week and this week. I don't know what the deal is. I'm grateful. I mean, it's nice to have that because she's not working, and what she was making in unemployment was a small percentage of what she would normally be earning. So, I mean, we've tightened our belts and we've really kind of cut down on things, and we haven't had as many expensive as far as gasoline or any other thing like that. So we've been very, very frugal. But it is nice to have a little extra money coming in because we don't know when she's going back to work. So that's kind of a big deal. Anyway, so those are the main things that are happening for today. Things that we learned. Again, I am very grateful for the stimulus package. It's better than nothing. It's more than, I mean, I'm thankful. It's great. I'm very grateful. We're going to, just kind of stick it aside and say, we're going to try to live without it. And use it only if necessary. We don't see this as, woo, boo, look, we hit the jackpot. No, I mean, it's not that much, but again, depends on where you're at. So anyway, that's the news for today, again, and then we will see what happens tomorrow.